Good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're facing. I want you to lean in, open your heart, and hear me today, because this moment is not an accident. This message is for you. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt, deep down, you were made for more? I know you have, because inside every single one of us, there's a fire, a calling, a purpose. But too many of us walk through life like we're sleepwalking, settling for less, playing it safe, waiting for the perfect time. But let me give you a truth that changed my life. You don't get what you want. You get what you give, and in a world that's constantly asking, what can I get? I'm here to tell you, it's time to flip the script. It's time to give more than ever. Let me tell you something. Life is not going to hand you success on a silver platter. Life will test you. Life will stretch you. Life will knock you down so hard, you'll forget how it felt to stand tall. But it's in those moments, when you feel like you've given all you have, that's when you've just begun, because you haven't tapped into your real strength yet. You haven't unlocked your true potential until you decide, I'm going to give more than ever before. Give more effort, give more love, give more service, give more passion, give more excellence. When no one's watching and no one's clapping, see, giving more is not about money. It's not about how much you have. It's about who you are when everything's on the line. It's about how you show up when it's hard, when you're tired, when you feel overlooked, underestimated, and unseen, because the real you, the unstoppable you, doesn't wait for perfect conditions. The real you creates them. You've got to dig deeper. You've got to stretch further. You've got to say, even if it's uncomfortable, even if I'm afraid, even if I don't feel ready, I'm giving everything I've got, and then I'm giving more. Why? Because there are people depending on you who haven't even met you yet. There are lives you're meant to touch, dreams you're meant to awaken, legacies you're meant to build, not because of what you took, but because of what you gave. You want to be great, you want to be remembered, then serve, pour out your gifts, share your story. Teach what you've learned, give your time, your energy, your experience, give your full presence, give your best when no one expects it. Do it not for applause, but for impact, because the most powerful people in the world are not the ones who demand more. They're the ones who give more. But hear me, giving more doesn't mean burning out. It means giving intentionally. It means showing up as your highest self, not your tired self. It means creating value before asking for value. It means leading with contribution, not entitlement. There will be days you'll want to quit. There will be voices, internal and external, that tell you you're not enough, that your efforts don't matter, that you're wasting your time, but don't you dare believe them. You were born for this moment. You were built for this battle. You have what it takes, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. When you give more than ever, you grow more than ever. You unlock levels of yourself you didn't know existed. You become bolder, sharper, wiser. You build resilience, you build confidence, and eventually, you build legacy. Let me tell you something else. Life has a way of rewarding the relentless, not always on your timeline, not always the way you expected, but when you give more than you're asked for, more than you feel like, more than seems reasonable, life opens doors, not just opportunities, but transformation. You start attracting people who see your fire. You start influencing people with your example. You start elevating everyone around you, not because of a title, but because of your spirit. So I challenge you, give more effort when you feel discouraged. Give more hope when people feel lost. Give more solutions instead of complaints. Give more kindness when people least deserve it. Give more courage when fear is screaming in your ear. Give more faith when the facts look impossible. Because the world is full of people waiting for a miracle, and you might be the miracle they've been waiting for, so don't hold back, don't shrink, don't wait until you feel like it. Give more now. Give more today. Give more with your words, your walk, your work, your worth, and one day, when you look back on your journey, you won't regret the things you gave, you'll only regret the things you held back. So rise, show up, serve, give more than ever, and watch how life begins to give back to you, more than you ever imagined. This simple truth is the foundation of every meaningful transformation in life. Wanting alone is not enough. Wishing, hoping, dreaming, they are powerful but powerless without effort. Too many people sit back and wait, expecting life to reward them for simply existing. But life doesn't respond to wants. Life responds to works. Life rewards the giver. Think about it. You can want success, but if you don't give your time, your energy, your discipline, success won't just show up. You can want a strong relationship, but if you don't give your presence, your understanding, your vulnerability, what are you building it on? You can want to grow, but if you won't give up comfort, fear, ego, growth will remain a fantasy. The wanting must be backed by giving, and not just giving when it's easy, but giving when it's tough, inconvenient, and invisible. When you focus only on what you want, you place yourself in a position of lack. You're always reaching, always waiting, always needing, but when you shift to giving, something changes. You take back your power. You become the source, not the seeker. You move from scarcity to strength. Giving is action, it's movement, it's sacrifice. When you give, you're declaring to the universe, I'm ready, I'm serious, I'm committed. And that declaration carries weight. It sets things in motion. It activates the law of momentum. The more you give, the more you become. The more you become, the more you attract. What you want might not be in your hands today, but if you commit to giving what's in your hands now, your time, your focus, your work ethic, what you want will eventually find its way to you, because consistent giving builds trust. It builds skill, it builds character, and character is the currency that unlocks doors money never will. Look around. Every person you admire, every person who inspires you, every story of greatness you've heard, it's all rooted in giving. They gave their all when no one was watching. They gave their best when no one believed. They gave again and again when quitting would have been easier, and eventually they received, but they didn't start by receiving. They started by giving, and here's the key: you don't give to get. You give because it's who you are. You give because it's what the mission demands. You give because you refuse to sit idle while your dreams gather dust. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe yourself everything, and that means showing up with your full heart, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's thankless. Want more out of life, then pour more into it. Stop asking what life can hand you and start asking what you can offer. What you give creates the environment where what you want can grow. It prepares you to hold the blessing once it comes, because it's one thing to get something. It's another thing entirely to be able to sustain it. Giving builds that foundation. Giving sharpens your edge. Giving fuels the fire that will burn through every excuse. So if you want better results, give better effort. If you want deeper relationships, give deeper attention. If you want more influence, give more value. If you want a stronger future, give more discipline in the present. Because the results you crave don't come from the desires in your heart. They come from the actions you take. It's not built on stages, in spotlights, or during applause. It's built in silence, in solitude, in the places where it's just you and the decision to either push forward or give up. These are the unseen battles that shape the person you're becoming. Not the awards, not the praise, not the recognition, but the choice to give your best when no one's keeping score. The world often glamorizes the outcome: titles, trophies, success stories, but overlooks the process. Yet the process is where greatness is truly forged. It's in the early mornings when you rise before the sun. It's in the late nights when you stay behind, working while others sleep. It's in those hours of repetition, discipline, and discomfort that you're laying the bricks of something extraordinary. No one sees the hours spent studying when your friends are out. No one applauds the discipline it takes to say no to distractions. No one celebrates the inner struggle to stay consistent when the results aren't immediate. But that's right, there is where greatness lies, in the discipline you show when quitting would be easier, in the standard you hold yourself to, even when no one else demands it. In the tiny decisions made day after day that compound into excellence over time. There's a powerful kind of integrity in showing up when no one is watching, It means you're not doing it for show. You're not performing. You're becoming. You're building something real, something lasting, because the people who are truly great at what they do didn't wait to be motivated. They trained themselves to be consistent. They didn't wait for accountability. They became accountable to themselves. Anyone can work hard when they're being watched. Anyone can impress when the lights are on. But what separates the average from the elite is what happens in the dark. What are you doing when there's no promise of reward? How do you act when the cameras are off? Do you still give your all? Do you still chase mastery? Do you still honor your vision? These are the questions that matter. Because at the end of the day, what you build in private will show up in public. The grind, the sweat, the setbacks, the late night doubts, all of it becomes part of the final product the world eventually sees. But by the time they see the greatness, the work has already been done. The victory was sealed in the invisible hours. Your character is not shaped by what you do occasionally in front of others. It's defined by what you do consistently when no one is watching. The habits you form in private set the ceiling for how far you can rise. The truth is, you can't fake preparation. You can't fake discipline, and when pressure comes, you'll default to the level of your training, not the level of your wishes. So if you want to be great, focus less on impressing and more on investing. Invest your time in your craft. Invest your energy in developing yourself. Be willing to be unseen, uncelebrated, and unrecognized, because those are the seasons where true greatness is nurtured. That's when you learn what you're really made of. That's when you sharpen the edge that will cut through every challenge. When you stay faithful in the dark. When you keep working in the shadows. When you commit even when it's lonely. You're building something unshakable. You're proving to yourself that you can be trusted with your dream. Because if you can lead yourself in silence, you'll be unstoppable when the world finally listens. Excuses are easy. They come naturally. They're the default response when we're afraid, tired, or uncertain. They sound reasonable, even logical. I don't have enough time. I'm not ready. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'll start tomorrow. But effort, that's a choice. That's a decision to rise above the noise in your head and take action anyway. The truth is, every excuse steals a piece of your potential. It delays your growth. It protects your comfort, but robs your calling. Every time you make an excuse, you surrender control. You hand over your power to your circumstances, your past, your fear. But when you give effort, real, focused, committed effort, you take that power back. You stop being a passenger in your life and become the driver. Effort doesn't require perfection. It just requires presence. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being willing to keep showing up, to try again, to push when it hurts. Effort means doing the best you can with what you have, right where you are. It's about taking the next step, even if you can't see the whole path. It's about refusing to be passive in your own story. Too many people are waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal conditions, the right mindset. But if you wait to feel ready, you'll wait forever. Readiness comes through effort. Clarity comes through motion. You gain strength by doing, not by delaying. Excuses will always be there if you want them. So will reasons, but reasons don't move you forward. Effort does. No one ever changed their life with an excuse. No one ever built a legacy by talking about why they couldn't. Progress belongs to those who act, and every small effort counts. You don't need to make giant leaps every day. You just need to take one more step. Push a little harder, stay a little longer, focus a little deeper. Every drop of extra effort adds up. There will be moments when giving effort feels thankless, when no one notices, when it seems like you're running in place. That's when excuses will creep in, whispering that it's not worth it, that you've done enough, that someone else has it easier. But those are the moments when effort matters most. Because breakthrough doesn't happen when it's easy. It happens when it's tempting to give less but you choose to give more. Excuses can sound like protection, but they're really limitations in disguise. They convince you to stay small. Effort expands you, it stretches your capacity, it builds resilience. The more effort you give, the more you realize how much you're capable of. You stop believing the stories that say you can't and start proving to yourself that you can. Effort sharpens you, it makes you resourceful, it trains your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems. It develops your character in ways that excuses never will. You start building confidence, not the kind that comes from empty motivation, but the kind that's rooted in real work, real growth, and real wins. You will never regret the effort you gave. You might regret the moments you gave in to excuses, the opportunities you passed up, the chances you didn't take, but not the effort. Because even if it doesn't work out the way you planned, the effort leaves you better, stronger, wiser, prepared for whatever comes next. When you shift from excuses to effort, you change your identity. You go from someone who waits for life to happen to someone who makes it happen. You step out of the role of victim and into the role of creator. You stop hiding behind circumstances and start rising above them. The world may celebrate status, possessions, and influence, but when it's all said and done, none of those things will define who you truly were. What people remember about you, what lasts after you're gone, is not how much you had, but how much you gave. The lives you touched, the difference you made, the moments when you chose to show up, to serve, to lead, even when it wasn't easy or convenient. Accumulation might feel good in the moment. It might bring comfort, security, or validation. But contribution is what brings significance. What you accumulate is for you. What you contribute is for others, and it's contribution that echoes far beyond your lifetime. It's what builds reputation, respect, and real impact. People won't remember the numbers in your bank account. They'll remember how you made them feel, how you helped them grow, and how you inspired them to believe in themselves. True legacy isn't measured by success alone, it's measured by service. It's not about how high you climbed, but how many people you lifted along the way. It's not about how far you went, but how far you helped others go. Legacy is born in the everyday choices to be kind when it's hard, to give when it costs you something, and to lead with your heart even when your ego wants to lead first. The most powerful influence you can have doesn't come from position or wealth. It comes from example, from how you live, how you speak, how you treat people who have nothing to offer you. Every act of generosity, every word of encouragement, every sacrifice made for the benefit of others, that's the currency of legacy. Those moments may seem small, but they leave a mark that time can't erase. Accumulation fades, money gets spent, titles are forgotten, but the ripple effect of a life lived in contribution goes on and on. One act of courage can inspire someone to never give up. One moment of belief can spark a generation. That's what you're building every time you give your time, your wisdom, your strength to something bigger than yourself. You're planting seeds that grow long after you're gone. Legacy isn't something you leave behind when you die. It's something you live out every day. It's found in your values, your decisions, and your presence. It's the way you lead when no one is watching. It's the example you set when the pressure's on. It's the love you show in the smallest of moments that become the most unforgettable to someone else. You don't need to be famous to leave a legacy. You just need to be faithful to your purpose. You just need to keep showing up with integrity, giving your best, and putting others before yourself. The greatest legacies often come from ordinary people who made extraordinary decisions to serve where they stood. When you contribute, you create meaning, you create growth, you build a bridge between who you are and who others can become. You live in a way that says, I came to give, not just to take. And that message speaks louder than anything material ever could. It tells the world that you understood the assignment, that life is not just about building a name, but about building people. Accumulating is easy, giving is intentional. It requires courage, empathy, and humility. But those are the traits that turn lives into legacies. When your focus shifts from collecting things to contributing value, you stop chasing validation and start creating something timeless. Growth is not something that happens by accident. It's a result of effort, of energy, of intentional action. The more you give, mentally, emotionally, physically, the more capacity you create within yourself. Giving more stretches your limits, and in that stretch is where growth lies. Growth doesn't show up when things are easy or comfortable. It shows up when you decide to go beyond what you've done before, beyond what feels safe, and beyond what you thought was your limit. Most people want to grow, but they don't want to give more. They want new results without new levels of commitment. They want transformation without discomfort, but growth demands more discipline, more resilience, more honesty with yourself. When you give more of your effort, your focus, your heart, you start unlocking new layers of your potential. You start discovering strength you didn't know you had because it was hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be accessed through sacrifice. There's a direct connection between what you give and who you become. Every moment you choose to go further, to push harder, to serve deeper, you expand your mindset. You begin to separate yourself from who you were yesterday, and the person who gives more than ever is not the same person who used to settle for less. That person is becoming something new, something stronger, something more capable of handling the life they desire. Giving more sharpens you. It forces you to get uncomfortable, and discomfort is the environment where real development takes place. Muscles grow under resistance. Wisdom grows through mistakes. Character grows when things don't go as planned and you give your best anyway. You don't grow by avoiding challenge. You grow by leaning into it, by choosing to give even when giving is hard. People often think giving more means doing more, but it's not about being busy. It's about being better. Giving more doesn't mean burning out. It means going deeper in your purpose. It means showing up more present, more engaged, more committed to excellence. It means cutting the excuses, silencing the distractions, and focusing your energy on what matters most. Because when you give more of yourself to the right things begin to multiply in your life. You grow in confidence because you're proving to yourself that you can follow through. You grow in courage because you're facing fears instead of running from them. You grow in clarity because every time you push past comfort, you learn something new about your values, your vision, and your voice. That kind of growth doesn't come from wishing. It comes from giving. The more you give, the more you realize that growth isn't a destination. It's a daily decision. It's not about waiting for life to hand you opportunities. It's about stepping up, taking initiative, and pouring your all into the moment you're in. That's how leaders are built. That's how champions are made. Not by luck or timing, but by the relentless choice to give more. Even when you don't feel like it, even when no one notices, even when the results aren't instant. When you give more than ever, life begins to reveal what you're truly capable of. You stop living based on past limitations and start creating from your potential. You begin to grow not just in skill or knowledge, but in spirit, in grit, in humility, in purpose. And that kind of growth can't be taught. It has to be earned through the commitment to show up and give more, no matter what.